You've felt it before. Maybe it crept in quietly, a friend's promotion, a partner's laugh with someone else, a stranger living the life you thought was yours. It doesn't announce itself. It arrives, warm, heavy, shameful. And you know almost immediately that you're not supposed to feel it, but you do. You always do. That feeling has a name: jealousy. And it is one of the most human things you will ever experience. Long before cities, before language, before you had words for what you felt, your ancestors were jealous too. Jealousy is not a modern weakness. It is an evolutionary alarm system. When something or someone you depended on for survival seemed threatened, your brain lit up like a fire. Neuroscientists today can watch it happen. The amygdala, your brain's ancient threat detector, floods with activity. Cortisol rises. Your heart rate climbs. Your body prepares to fight for something it cannot punch. This is not irrationality. This is biology telling you something you need is slipping away. Here's something most people get wrong. Jealousy and envy are not the same thing. Envy is when you want what someone else has, their success, their talent, their life. It's a hunger aimed at an object. Jealousy is when you're terrified of losing what's already yours or what you believe is yours, a relationship, a place, a sense of being chosen. Envy says, I want that. Jealousy says, don't take this from me. One is reaching, the other is gripping, and the grip of jealousy is where the real pain lies. Nowhere does jealousy hit harder than in love, and there's a reason for that. When you love someone deeply, you've made yourself vulnerable. You've handed them a piece of your sense of safety, your self-worth, your future. When a threat, real or imagined, appears near that love, it doesn't feel like inconvenience. It feels like annihilation. Psychologist Robert Leahy describes romantic jealousy as the mind running a catastrophe simulation over and over. What if they choose someone else? What if I am not enough? It is not madness. It is the terrifying mathematics of attachment, loving someone so much that the thought of their absence restructures your entire world. Love isn't the only door jealousy walks through. It enters through friendship too, through workplaces, through family dinner tables where siblings are compared, through group chats where your name wasn't mentioned, through the party you weren't invited to but somehow found out about anyway. Humans are deeply, painfully social creatures. For our ancestors, belonging to a group was survival itself. Being excluded, overlooked, or replaced within a social circle triggered the same threat response as a predator. Your nervous system cannot fully distinguish between being left out of a tribe 10,000 years ago and being left out of a friend group photo in 2025. Both feel like danger, because to your body, they once were. Here is the uncomfortable truth that jealousy is really trying to tell you. It is not about the other person. It never was. Jealousy is a mirror. And what it shows you, if you're brave enough to look, is what you value, what you fear, and what you secretly believe about your own worth. When a colleague's promotion stings, jealousy is whispering, I want to matter that much. When a friend's relationship looks perfect and yours doesn't, it's asking, am I lovable the way I am? When your sibling gets the praise at the dinner table, it's echoing, was I ever truly seen? Jealousy always points inward first. It is dressed as anger at others, but underneath, it is grief about yourself. Our ancestors compared themselves to maybe 150 people, the size of their tribe. Their brain evolved for that scale. Today, a single scroll puts you in silent competition with 8 billion curated highlight reels. Bodies, careers, relationships, travels, achievements, all filtered, all framed, all designed to look like the life you don't have. Social media doesn't create jealousy, but it pours gasoline on a fire that was already burning. The brain's comparison circuitry was never built for this kind of exposure. Every swipe is a new opportunity for the amygdala to ask, why not you? And the more you scroll, the louder that question gets. Jealousy doesn't begin in adulthood. It begins in a crib. Attachment theory, pioneered by John Bowlby, tells us that the way we bonded with our earliest caregivers creates a template that we carry through every relationship of our lives. If love felt conditional, if attention was unpredictable, if you had to perform to be chosen, your nervous system learned a lesson it never forgot. Love is not guaranteed. It must be earned, and it can always be taken away. Adults who grew up with anxious attachment are not too sensitive when jealousy grips them. They are following an old map, one drawn in early childhood by a child who had no other way to survive. There is a point where jealousy crosses a line, where the alarm becomes the fire itself. When jealousy is chronic, when it governs every interaction, reads threat into every text message, needs constant reassurance to breathe, it stops protecting you. It starts destroying the very thing it fears losing: controlling behavior, accusations, emotional withdrawal, surveillance. These aren't love. They are jealousy wearing love's face, and they push people away far more effectively than the imagined threats ever could. This is jealousy's cruel paradox. The tighter you grip, the more certain the loss becomes. Here is what no one tells you. Jealousy, listened to carefully, is one of the most precise instruments for understanding yourself. You cannot be jealous about something you don't care about, which means every flare of jealousy is pointing directly at a value, a dream, a need you haven't fully acknowledged. The writer jealous of a peer's published book is being told, you want to create something lasting. The employee jealous of a promoted colleague is hearing, you want to be recognized for your contribution. The partner jealous of a close friendship is learning, I need deeper intimacy and presence. Follow the jealousy like a compass, not a verdict. It knows where you want to go. Shakespeare wrote Othello consumed by it. The book of Genesis opens with Cain's murderous envy of Abel. Ancient Greek myths are soaked in jealous gods toppling kingdoms for a rival's glory. Not one culture in human history has been without jealousy. Not one. The Inuit have words for the specific jealousy over a hunting partner's catch. Japanese has mono no aware, the bittersweet ache of seeing beauty you cannot hold. The Portuguese have saudade, a longing so deep it touches jealousy at its edge. We named it differently, we sculpted it differently, we prayed about it differently, but we all felt exactly the same thing. So what do you do when jealousy arrives? You don't silence it. Suppressed jealousy doesn't disappear, it becomes resentment, contempt, and quiet sabotage. You also don't act on it unchecked. Jealousy acted on in rage destroys. You listen to it. You ask, what am I actually afraid of losing? What does this tell me I need? What wound from the past is speaking right now? You name it to someone you trust. Research consistently shows that numbing an emotion reduces its intensity by activating the prefrontal cortex, the rational, compassionate part of your brain. Words are the antidote to the wordless feeling. And you practice, slowly, building a sense of self that doesn't depend entirely on what others do or don't choose. The next time jealousy arrives, and it will, try to pause before the shame does. Remember that it is ancient, that it has been felt by every person who ever loved something, wanted something, or feared losing something. That it is not evidence of your brokenness, it is evidence of your depth. You feel jealous because you care, because something matters to you, because you are not numb to the world. The goal was never to be a person who doesn't feel jealousy. The goal is to be a person who understands what their jealousy is saying and responds with wisdom instead of wounds. That is where the growth lives. Right there in the heat of the feeling and the breath before the reaction. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are human. And that has always been enough.